Imagine a marketplace, bigger than eBay, more organized than Amazon, where you could buy heroin, weapons, stolen credit cards, fake passports, and nobody knew your name. This marketplace had over 400,000 customers. It processed nearly $1 billion in transactions, and it was run by a 25-year-old kid sitting in a luxury villa in Thailand. His name was Alexandre Cazes, and the mistake that brought down his entire empire was an email address he created when he was 17 years old. Before we dive into Alphabey, you need to understand where it lived. The internet you use every day, Google, YouTube, Instagram, that's called the surface web. It's indexed, it's searchable, it's monitored. But beneath that, there's the dark web, a hidden network only accessible through a special browser called Tor, the onion router. Tor bounces your connection through dozens of servers around the world, stripping away your identity with every hop. On the dark web, you have no address, no name, you're just a ghost. In 2011, a man named Ross Ulbricht figured out how to turn that ghost world into a billion-dollar drug empire called Silk Road. When the FBI shut Silk Road down in 2013, the dark web didn't disappear, it evolved. It got bigger, it got smarter. Enter Alphabey. Alexandre Cazet was born in 1991 in Trois-Rivières, Quebec, Canada. By his mid-teens, he was already a gifted coder. The kind of kid who built complex websites while his classmates were still on MySpace. By his early 20s, he had quietly relocated to Bangkok, Thailand, living modestly, flying under the radar. At least, that's what everyone thought. In September 2014, Cazes, operating under the username Alpha02, launched Alphabey. His own stated goal to create the largest eBay-style underworld marketplace. In the first 90 days alone, 14,000 users signed up. Within a year, it was the biggest dark web market on Earth. How did it work? Almost exactly like a legitimate e-commerce site. Vendors listed their products. Drugs, stolen data, fake IDs, malware, weapons. Buyers browsed, read reviews, checked seller ratings, and paid in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. Alphabet collected a percentage commission on every transaction. It even had a PER manager, a security team, dedicated scam watchers to maintain trust between criminals. This was not some amateur operation. This was a corporation built entirely on crime.
By July 2017, the day it was taken down, Alphabey had 400,000 registered users, 40,000 active vendors, over 369,000 product listings, 250,000 listings for illegal drugs and toxic chemicals alone, 100,000 more listings for stolen identities, malware, counterfeit documents, and firearms. Every single day, between $600,000 and $800,000 passed through Alphabey. $500,000 every single day. To put it in perspective, when the FBI shut Silk Road down in 2013, it had around 14,000 listings. Alphabey had over 25 times more. It was the largest criminal marketplace in internet history, and at the center of it all, sitting in his Bangkok villa, driving Lamborghinis, posting his lifestyle online, was Alexandre Cazes, age 25, estimated net worth $23 million. He felt untouchable. He was wrong. Here's the thing about running the world's biggest criminal empire. You can build the most sophisticated, anonymous platform on the planet. But you're still human, and humans make mistakes. In December 2014, when Alphabey launched, every new user received a welcome email. Standard stuff, thanks for joining, here's your login. But buried in that email's header, in a field most people never look at, was the from address, pimp_alex_91@hotmail.com. That address had existed since 2008. It was linked to his real LinkedIn profile. It was registered to his legitimate computer repair business in Canada. It was, in every sense of the word, him. The man who had built an empire in the shadows had accidentally left his front door wide open. FBI agent Nicholas Philippidis later described it as the thread that unraveled everything. From that single data point, investigators followed the money, Bitcoin transactions, payments, cash outs. They traced his servers, found his identity, found his location, and there were more mistakes. His laptop, used to run Alphabey, was completely unencrypted. On it, a detailed personal spreadsheet listing every asset he owned across multiple countries. Properties in Thailand, bank accounts in Liechtenstein, Cyprus, and Switzerland. Millions in cryptocurrency. His entire financial life, in a plain, unprotected file. The man who understood cryptography better than most had protected nothing that actually mattered.
Early 2017, the FBI knew who Cases was. They knew where he lived, what he drove, his daily routine. But taking him down wasn't simple. He was in Thailand, and Alphabey's servers were scattered across the globe. So they built something ambitious, a coordinated takedown involving 11 agencies from 6 countries, plus Europol. They called it Operation Bayonet. But here's where it gets truly brilliant. While the FBI watched Alphabey, Dutch policiness had quietly discovered another major dark web market, Hansa. Instead of shutting Hansa down immediately, the Dutch did something unprecedented. They secretly took it over. They became the criminal marketplace. For an entire month, Dutch law enforcement ran Hansa. Processing orders, responding to users, collecting data. Every vendor, every buyer, every message, every password. All quietly captured. The plan, shut Alphabey first, watch panicking users flood to Hansa, then shut Hansa, with a complete list of everyone who had just identified themselves. On July 5th, 2017, Thai police, assisted by FBI and DEA agents, raided Case's home in Bangkok. To prevent him triggering a dead man's switch to wipe Alphabey's servers, they had to catch him completely off guard. They rammed a car through his front gate. When they found him, he was at his desk, laptop open, unencrypted, logged in as administrator of Alphabey, all server passwords visible on screen. In that single moment, the FBI had everything. Alphabey went dark on July 5th, 2017. No announcement, no warning, just silence. On dark web forums, panic erupted immediately. Users assumed an exit scam, that the admins had stolen everyone's money and vanished. To fuel that confusion further, the FBI posted on Reddit claiming Alphabey was just down for maintenance. Exactly as planned, hundreds of thousands of Alphabey users fled to Hansa. In days, Hansa's user count jumped by 800%. Every single one of those users had walked directly into a law enforcement trap. On July 12th, just 8 days after his arrest, Alexandre Cases was found dead in his cell in Thailand. He was 26 years old. Authorities ruled it suicide. He never faced trial. The FBI and DEA seized nearly 2,000 Bitcoin, over 8,000 Ethereum, and thousands of Monero and Zcash tokens. Luxury cars, multiple properties across Thailand, Cyprus, and Antigua. His wife was charged with money laundering. Europol director Robert Wainwright declared it the largest dark web criminal marketplace takedown in history. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Researchers and law enforcement have wrestled with ever since. It didn't end crime on the dark web. Not even close. In August 2021, 4 years later, Alphabey relaunched. Run by a former administrator called a snake with tighter security and stricter operational discipline. The empire had fallen, but the idea and the demand never went away. So, what do we actually learn from Alphabey? First, technology cannot save you from yourself. Alexandre Cases dreamed of building the underworld's version of eBay. For 3 years, he succeeded, and then brought down not by sophisticated hacking, but by a teenager's Hotmail address. His empire collapsed overnight. The dark web is real, the crime is real, the consequences are real, and the story of Alphabey is far from over.